Zach Polansky, the Nigel Farage of the left.
I'm still here, guys. Be careful.
Yes.
Well, no, it could be. Look, he's got zip and zest. I'd lean into the old boob thing and laugh it off, say I was misrepresented. Just how people get to know you. And it's on the front page of the Daily Star. It doesn't happen often to the Green Party. But I just listening there. Are you green-red or red-green? Because most of the issues you are focusing on are issues that share your concern on their economic issues, their exploitation of workers, two-child poverty cap, what's happening in Gaza. Yes, an environmental side to all that, but they're really red socialist issues.
I don't think those issues are separable, because actually it's corporations who are destroying our environment, but it's also corporations destroying our democracy and our communities. So ultimately, we need to have a fair taxation system, both to tackle inequality, but also, yes, to protect us from the climate crisis and also protect nature.
Are you suggesting he sounds a little Corbynista?
Well, I wouldn't say that was necessarily an insult, actually, because there's a lot of people will share his views on all those policies. But I want to know, is the real threat to you, actually, Jeremy Corbyn's new party, if it ever gets off the ground?
Well, and also there is a suggestion, Zach's gone now, so we can't ask him, that the Green Party could do a deal with Jeremy Corbyn's party in certain constituencies, which would be potentially very difficult for Starmer's Labour Party.
Yeah, so do a deal where one would step aside in order to target Labour.
The Greens have got 4 seats now, I think.
The same as Reform.
Yeah.
Yes.
They have as many MPs in Parliament as Reform. That's his starting point.
And you think that Keir Starmer is more worried about Zach Polansky, who is the more left populist figure, winning this election and doing a deal with Corbyn, than having somebody who is the Green leader, who is, less left, more centre-left, more, likely to pull over?
Yeah, I think the more Starmer tries to out-Farage, and he's not succeeding, but he's trying to give the impression he is, I think the more votes are going to be driven towards Jeremy Corbyn and Zach Polansky's Green Party.
I think Labour's in a really difficult position, because you've got Farage and Reform on the right, and you've got a revived Green Party. You just saw the energy there, and possibly another left party with Corbyn and Zara Sultana's vehicle, if it ever happens.
Personality seems to be a real driving factor, doesn't it? Nigel Farage, you can accuse him of a lot. You can't accuse him of not having a personality. Same with Jeremy Corbyn. Same with Zach Polansky. So Keir Starmer...
No, it's
boring.
Right. We are. Your personality.
Dull.
Your personality can be a way of getting across policies and views.
That's the problem for Labour.
And thought.
Angela Rayner, however,
big personality.
Big personality. Big controversies.
Arrived with a great outfit to the cabinet yesterday. I don't know whether we've got...
I'll take your word on that for that, Ed.
Oh, my gosh.
What about the blokes? How were their outfits?
Not quite as flamboyant. But, Ed, you've referred to it.
If you're talking... There we are. If you're talking about personality... that was the personality front page.
That's like a film star, isn't it?
It is.
I'm not letting you lot get me down.
She's making a statement, and that's what she's very good at.
And we've been reporting this morning, Keir Starmer is now letting it be known that maybe ID cards are going to be the answer to the small boat crisis. A national ID card system. Presumably nobody arriving illegally on a small boat has got an ID card. So how's this going to work?
How's it going to stop them crossing the channel?
Well, it won't.
It will not stop one crossing the channel. It's because none of them have any idea of any description, because they bung it over the side or they dump it in France. It's not going to stop anybody crossing the channel. What it might do is stop them disappearing into the black economy and working illegally.
Except that if they're working illegally, a digital ID card won't stop them.
So I can't see how any of it works.
And if they're going to work legally at the moment, they now, since the summer, have to have a digital e-visa to prove their immigration status. We already have digital ID cards for anybody who's not a British citizen.
And we all have national insurance numbers.
Yeah.
So...
and most of us, not everybody has a passport. You'll have some form of ID. ID cards were abolished in the UK in 1952 after the Second World War because people got sick of being asked to produce their papers. That's what it was a court case and a guy who just said, I've had enough, this is wrong, just decided not to do it. Now, it can be sold as an easy method. Tony Blair's been advocating it. In fact, Tony Blair opposed ID cards when the Conservatives proposed them before the 1997 election, and then he converted to them when he was in power, but then it never got off the ground because of opposition, how they would operate.
Not least from Gordon Brown, who thought, I mean, and to be fair, and Gordon Brown's position, I think, was never an ideological view about checking papers and freedom. He thought it was billions of pounds and would make no difference to anything.
That's the other thing. How much will it cost? We have no money. The government, the country is broke.
They'll say it will cost less now because you're not talking about a physical card. It would be a digital card.
Anything to do with IT and government is always ruinously expensive and always goes hideously wrong.
Are we really saying that every pensioner in Britain, even if you've not got a passport, will have to apply for and get a digital ID in order that you can go to the GP?
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to say?
Millions don't. Millions of pensioners
they don't at the moment.
Have passports. And
no, but they've got a national insurance number, which is a digital ID.
They have.
I don't understand what a digital ID card is going to do.
When you go to the GP, but with an ID card, that might be what you
think. You've registered with your national insurance
I think it's you have one standard form of ID. So everybody has it. So if the police, or you want to see who you are, prove who you are, or you want to enrol your kid in a school, or you want to access a GP, or whatever, you've got this one standard form, but I just think it's, oh, please no. I'm instinctively against it, and then there's all the practical...
I just practically don't see what problem it solves.
I mean, there's all the civil liberties, libertarian arguments, but I just think on a practical basis, what will it achieve?
If you're here illegally and you're working in the black economy and you haven't showed any...
Make no difference. It's certainly not going to stop you getting on a small boat in Calais.
But I'm against it.
Not a deterrent.
But the idea is if the police stop somebody in the street, for instance, they say they can't...
What, to check their Twitter feed?
They can't speak English.
Yeah, right.
Then if you can produce a card, you're OK. If you can't, then there's further...
Then you get hauled off to some deportation centre.
As I said, everybody here who's not a British citizen, whether they can speak English or not, has to have a digital ID called an e-visa, or else they're not here legitimately. That is the rule. So we already have a digital ID card for the kind of people who are...
It feels like it's left us all a little bit baffled, but on a Twitter poll that we ran this morning, would you support ID cards for all to help cut migration levels? A sort of a Brexit level of yes, 52%, and no, say, 48%.
I think when people think...
People aren't overwhelmingly convinced, I think, is the...
But not massively against.
It smacks of desperation, I'm afraid.
I know, I agree. Right, The Sun this morning, outrage as Father Ted Genius arrested by 5 gun cops over anti-trans tweets. 5 armed police to arrest somebody for a...
Can they police our streets, not our tweets? For God's sake, it's disproportionate. He just got off a plane from America in Heathrow, surrounded by 5... He ends up in a hospital with dramatically high blood pressure levels.
Are you speaking to the Daily Mail front page here?
When did Britain become North Korea?
Well, I mean, and the Daily Telegraph...
Which we're not, of course.
But it's absurd overreaction by the police again.
Do people use Twitter in North Korea? I can't imagine
no, they're
they
banned,
do.
actually. And anyway... You wouldn't be able to criticise the government in North Korea if you were a newspaper. But I'm sure the cops in Heathrow Airport, who are routinely armed, they didn't draw the weapons, they are routinely armed, must have had a notification from another police force that we want him questioned over a complaint. That's been,
he's a 57-year-old man of about 5'6". What's he going to do? What threat is it?
Yeah, no, I would have thought just arranged to see him. He's in court, I think, tomorrow on another allegation of alleged harassment, which he denies, and damaging somebody's phone, which I think he denied.
He does.
Too. But it seems excessive.
Which is also
but we've only got really one side here. Just be careful.
Kevin, you only need one side here. You do not need 5 police officers to detain a comedy writer at Heathrow Airport who's 57 and never, ever been arrested for any civil...
Hang on, he's in a magistrate's court
He's never been accused of violent behaviour.
And he denies the allegations.
It's ridiculous.
I'm just wary of when the Telegraph did Alison Pierce and then we found out what the tweet was and it was completely... wasn't what she'd represented. And then the police didn't say what she'd said because they had the body cam images. So I'm just
disproportionate.
I agree. but I'm just introducing a little note of caution before we grab our pitchforks and light our torches here.
And for the third day running, I'm going to raise the bond market on Good Morning Britain. The Times front page, Reeves see borrowing costs reach 27-year high, the highest level of interest rates since 1998, higher than any other big country. I mean, the financial markets are getting wobbly about the world economy, but also
the British economy.
The British economy, because our inflation is higher and stayed high, our debt levels are high. This is a challenging environment.
Is this like an alarm bell sounding not too distantly? Because the cost of the money that Rachel Reeves is borrowing,
which costs everybody watching this programme, it's affecting them because it's public money being used. We're having to spend more money to service the national debt, which is less money for the NHS, less money for teachers.
Your lot racked up the national debt. I think you doubled the national...
Kevin, we're talking about Rachel Reid and the government. You lot have been in power for 13 months.
75,
another history lesson from Maguire.
75%, three-quarters of what she borrows goes to pay the interest on previous debt.
Yeah, but the interest rate's going up.
Yeah, no, so it's a big problem.
We're paying more and more.
But it's not just...
Where are we going to get the money from,
She
Kevin?
hasn't just created the problem, she inherited...
Yeah, no, I understand that, but people watching know there was a problem before, see the problem getting worse now, and think, whose money is she coming for? Is she... Now, and can I ask...
Politics and context are important.
I understand. But can I ask a question, which is, she has got a budget next month, and either end of October, beginning of November. Do they tax the rich? Because she said no more taxes on working people, right? And apparently rich people are not working people. Is she going to increase taxes on rich people, something that Zach Polanski would love to see, Jeremy Corbyn would love to see, or is she going to have another go at cutting the welfare bill? What do you think? Are they going to go back in and try and do that?
I don't think she will try and cut welfare spending.
OK, so taxes are going to go up?
Yeah. I mean,
unless you find something else to cut.
I don't think either of those will solve the problem. She's neither going to get the public finances back on track by cutting welfare spending. It won't happen fast enough.
No.
It's still going to be rising. Nor is it possible to raise the kind of money she needs from taxing the richest. They already pay a lot of tax, and you can get some billions, but not the billions she needs.
No.
If the economy is not going to grow more strongly in the next 2 or 3 years, I think it's very hard for her not to come back to reconsider the pledges she made in the manifesto, which is everybody has to be asked to make a contribution.
Which would look like what? Raising VAT, for instance?
VAT, income tax, national insurance are the obvious ones.
Freezing tax
It's very, very hard to solve this problem without going back to that.
Because she's strapped herself into a conventional financial straitjacket, and if she's not going to think out of the box, she's going to be in that box, and she's trapped herself in the box, and she'll probably end up breaking her promises. And she'll have to say there are extraordinary times, didn't mean to do this. But if you want the migration system working, if you want law and order working,
you want
a better
ID cards,
better schools, higher defence spending, which I don't want.
How they can even contemplate ID cards when you see the financial mess we're in.
Well, unbelievable. By the time they come out, we'll be dead, won't we? Because these programmes take so long.
And just finally, having a look over at Ireland, the latest high-profile figure to join the race to become the next president of the Irish Republic, Sir Bob Geldof. What do you think?
Well, he's a very great communicator.
He's certainly got a personality.
Certainly has.
Well, like I say, we should take a leaf out of the Irish system. They elect their president, do the meet and greet, and it'd be a lot cheaper than having Prince Andrew, Prince Harry,
and the King and Queen.
I'd rather have King Charles than Bob Geldof as my head of state.
All right,
that's for sure.
If we elect our head of state, I don't mind you voting for him. He can stand. Charles can stand.
You're welcome to Bob Geldof. I'll have the King.
Although, if it was a wedding and the band at the disco after, you'd probably rather have Bob Geldof.
No.